Hi guys, well in this video what I'm going to do is compare ChatGPT-5 with Clay and Apollo. And the reason why I want to compare this around one particular use case, I really wanted to try out ChatGPT-5 and see how effective it is in doing, from a growth marketing perspective, how we can target particular target audiences. In particular, as you know, from a growth perspective, we're always looking as founders or as marketers, we're always looking to help sales grow through finding those companies that are growing. So no matter what business you're trying to sell to those companies that are likely going to be expanding, either people, expanding into new growth areas, expanding their operations, expanding their product range, right? And so what I wanted to do was find a list of target companies, let's just say a list of target accounts, and this is like an account-based marketing approach where you got a list of accounts. You want to know, okay, of these hundreds or 50 accounts, which ones are likely to engage in a response in terms of my value proposition to them. So if you're a company like this where you provide infrastructure for customer experience, or I was playing around with a new conversion, which is great. They completely also raise, so they're growing as well. So there's a sign of raising, and where they can basically they're kind of it's like a layer where it provides a much more personalized engagement with using your database. So you can personalize emails at a granular level. You can see here different variants of an email. You can different variants of emails based on audiences you create. So anyway, I'm not talking about this company here. I'm talking about how you're trying to target these companies, and you want to find out if these companies are growing, and then that's the best time to sell your value proposition. Whatever, if you're selling whatever product that you sell in SaaS, for example, or not SaaS, doesn't matter. Well, but what I did, so I got to my target list, and I ran an example between ChatGPT and Clay and also Apollo. What's interesting in the assessment I did, so here I just selected fintech companies. I just wanted to find out from if they're growing and the criteria. So let's look at this, for example, and then actually I started with Clay actually, because I thought that Clay would be much easier to run. So here in Clay I actually got in my fintech again. If you're trying to find companies, so I got a list of companies that I thought these are a fintech, very specific locations and so forth. Okay, and so the next question I was raised, okay, which of these, like any other marketer, is which one's going to grow, be likely to grow? So I did a criteria, the evaluation criteria. I guess I looked at was looked at their the growing company headcount. If there's any recent news of have there any new job openings and so forth, right? So that's the prompt that I wanted to explore, because you can actually in Clay you can run all these prompts, and it's like a ChatGPT in a way. And it does a great job of going systematically. However, as you can notice, you can see here, right? It goes and does. It looks at it tries to enrich it. It tries to find accounts. So every time it does this, it's using credits. So you can see here for every company, and rightly so. I'm saying it shouldn't. It should do that, but you can rack up these. You can use up your credits really fast, and you don't even get anywhere. In this case, I want to just use the free plan, so of course I ran out of credits, and it didn't get too much. And in fact, this got one. It just looked at total funds raised, and then it stopped. So Clay is great if you purchase the plan, of course. But I'll get out of here. Not here. Purchase the plan, so upgrade here. But my point here is that you can really so yeah, I just uploaded a list actually, and then I found companies, and then I try to enrich, and then I try to find those who are growing. Now what I was going to say, so this is sort of the find companies, and then you put in your description and and the way you go. You ask it, what you can actually it can actually generate its own. It will look at what kind of things it would criterias it would use to evaluate that, and that's the result of what I just showed you before, which is this here. So my point here in Clay, it's great and very flexible. You can do all sorts of things in terms of even creating your copy to outreach. So you know that, right? So then I said, okay, but look, my point is it uses up credits really fast because it's such a granular level of evaluation. The other one I looked at is, and again, Apollo. Again, Apollo is about $99 a month. So if you have access, it's probably. But what I've noticed, Apollo moving towards a Clay-like value proposition. You can see here, if I looked at the prompt here, edit the field. This is the prompt. It's similar to what I did with Clay. It did a great job. And I'm very impressed. So the way they've got a competitive advantage because they also have the list of companies. So it's part of so essentially you're paying already you're not using your credits in a way, right? Because you're just, it runs it free. So it runs look, similar behavior. So I'll run this now, okay? It will run evaluation, watch this. And it would, again, using the prompt. So it's like a, AI agent. It goes out and searches various sources. And did it do it? Where is it? I forgot which one I pressed now. Let's just do. What am I trying to do? I just did it quickly and I didn't know which one I did. Let's just do another one. Shift. Okay. Let's Swift. I know these guys. These actually. Cryptocurrency they've just launched in Australia. Okay, let's run this Swift FX. So this is interesting. Yeah, this is very interesting. So you can see the level of detail, and very important to defend your assessment. If you give this list to your sales team, you want to say why. It did a great job. It says yes, this is why they're recently hiring people and chief. Look, literally, these are the key things you look for. The company went under significant layoffs. 30. Okay, so no evidence found in the last 90 of the new offices, because that was the criteria. Offices, expansion. It continues to focus on existing company. Yep. So yes, they are growing, and reason why, it's just because of that. So if I go into this profile, let me go into this, and you're gonna ask ChatGPT as well around this company, and let's see what it thinks. It's going to find that, and we're going to just do a single one. Let's just leave that for now. But if I go back to this list. I was really impressed by Apollo's ability to make it easy for you to find your companies, by segmenting. Very simple. Part of the license, $99 a month. It's a monthly one. And by the way, you can also with Apollo, you can actually also do your sequences. By the way, I'm not affiliated with any of these applications, so I'm just testing them because I use them for day-to-day for work. But I want to evaluate the best, and so I'm giving sort of my learnings out of this. Yeah, so you can see I just try to target what I'm segment, filter by the ones I'm looking for. So that's the benefit of this, is that you can find companies or even people, okay, and then you can prepare sequences towards to target those with this intel now. So, and you can save this, so you can actually save this custom. So when you do, you can you save it as like a template, so you can run that again too. So if the prompt is really engineered very well, hence why prompt engineering is important, and you say this is great, it's resulting in good insight. And again, why I like this, and I go back to this, the reasons is the reasoning. It shows. In the case, it's not a good example, but it shows your. Let me just quickly go into this. Typically show some of the resources sources. So I like how it summarized it. Now, so we just went through Clay, and we said Clay, great, is trying to do it systematically, but it can use credits along the way, so you can use it really out before. That's including finding companies. Apollo, very very simple now. Now they're getting where you can find your out of box that's standard. Your the database of hundreds and thousands of companies. But now they have the AI component. Get out of here. AI component where you can actually tailor the search even further through your own prompts, where in this case I'm looking for those companies who are likely to be expanding, and it evaluates those companies if they're expanding or not, and the reasons. Okay, here, no, there's no evidence. You can clearly see there's no evidence of them hiring any executives, no evidence of opening new offices, no expansion, no products, no announcements, no and this can grow. Like I said, prompt is you can start depending on your business. If they're, for example, in your business a particular infrastructure, AWS or Google Cloud is important because you sell that product to that client, then you might put into this prompt, ensure that also as part of my criteria that this has also AWS Cloud, Google Cloud, whatever application or value proposition that you want to target. And so that, anyway, my point here is great. I like the ease and how you can then go next level here is looking at the contact level. So find people, so you can then filter, right? You can filter those companies. You filter that company specifically. Let's just say if I would, okay, and then I can find the ISP. Okay, simple. Then of course I can then select that ISP, add them to the sequence using the intel that I found. Now, back to what I started off with ChatGPT, because it's really impressive as well. So if I upload this list that it's the same list basically. I just wanted to test, and let's just quickly do that. Okay, so if I go into get back here, I'm going to use the same prompt. Excuse me, where we go. So I'm going to use the same prompt. Because if when comparing companies, comparing applications, it's important just that you're getting, if edit. So okay, so I'm just going to dump that in. Let's see what happens, okay? And I already done it, but I wanted to show you live as well. And I've done a great job. Well, the first version, we'll probably have to go back to the first. Oh, yes, that's right. I have to, that's another thing. You have to upload a CSV. So let me upload a CSV and do that. Okay, so I got my CSV file version. Just uploaded the same list again. I had to put in a CSV, and it got the CSV. It read that, and then and what it done a great job again. It gave me the dates, so it went line by line like Apollo. But my point is a part of the. It's part of the your license. So if for here, you probably need to get your list. So if you already have your target list, then you probably would just use ChatGPT-5 in a way. In this case, it evaluated all those companies in my target list, and it said which ones are raising and reasons why. Again, very identical. So if I go to get out of here, look at Airwax here, it's identical. So in terms of research, but I'm paying $99. I'm paying more than half of that. Very cool. I mean, very effective. I'm very impressed by ChatGPT-5, its ability to do that research, external, find me. Again, CC series, perfect. It evaluated. Again, my point is cost effective. Because if you're doing growth hacking, you're very limited in budgets. A ChatGPT-5 can do a lot of your research for you, depending on the situation you're in. And these days you can actually use something like Base 44 or Lovable to go one step further if you wanted to. In this case, like if I said what I was going to do, Swift here, right? I wanted to personalize an outbound to it. If you know, you can go one step further, and this is in my previous videos. You can do an outreach to this, you know. So you can bring it. If my point here is that, like, even if you don't have the outreach ability of Apollo, you can do it. You can do it on create your own outreach, create your own Apollo in a way, very simple one version. So in this case here, remember, is you put in your target company. Let's just say I'm going to put in conversion. Let's get out here. Conversion, okay, as my company, as this is a tool, and you can use it. I'll put in a show notes if you want to use it for free. It's no, and this one is so now I've got my target list. So now I know Swift is expanding from my list, and I want to create an outbound to personalize this. The idea is this gives you a bit of a strategy. So your company, this company that you're targeting, some of the strategies you want to approach. Initiate outreach via LinkedIn. Interesting. Okay. So this gives you a strategy, or how should you follow up with a case study. Very cool. Timing. Opt-in timing for outreach is a major announcements. Interesting, right? So it says focus on announcement. Look at that. It found out. It did its own research as well, and I did that on AWACS as well. AWACS on AWACS. And it actually. Let me see if I got that. I should have my previous ones. Yeah. Oh yeah. See. Let me just quickly here. So see this one here is pretty cool. And this I built it. I mean, you can use it. I mean, my point is, you can just copy this if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be mine. But look, it tells you when the outreaches you should do as well. So it goes to the next level. So okay, now you know from your research that AirWax is raised. I want to target these guys. I want to target with a crafted strategy. Going to where's my thing? Going to what I call it, IntelliD reach, right? This is the thing I like I said, you can build it yourself, and it tells you when to when's the best time to do a reach to be more effective. And if I go back to the message studio, where's my message? So, okay, these are AirWax, and these are the messages. So this is your core strip. This is your LinkedIn. So you can use this, okay? And look at this. At conversion, it integrates it. So you just copy this. Similar to this email. Hey Jack, and Jack is sort of one of the CEOs, founders. You can, it's personal. It went out and found that for you. So if you don't have, it doesn't have the email address. That's a enhancement. But Quasi, Quasi like a Apollo and Clay and ChatGPT-5, you can, and then Base 44. You see, you get a really compelling marketing growth stack that you can use at cost, a very cost-effective way. So that's the video today, is looking at how to use the latest Clays and your Apollos, your ChatGPT, and we're impressed by ChatGPT-5 in particular, or create Base 44 to create your own application to target people, to target more at an account level. There's another one I'll put in the show notes here. This is one if you wanted to target do a competitive analysis. Okay, if this is I don't know, say you said, well, they're already with a company, so they're using a service. You can do a competitive analysis. So let's just do a competitive analysis on this. Say you're a competitor of this, and you want to find out what's their value proposition, how could I reposition. Look at this. Again, Base 44. You can use this if you want. It's up to you. I'm just showing you. Avoid jargons. It tells you the value proposition, what kind of the primary killer actions they've been using. So you get a bit of an intel of that competitor threats and opportunities as a SWOT for you as well. Anyway, I don't want to make this video very long. As always, if you like this video, subscribe, follow, because I'm going to create others. I've been creating like this because I know marketers, growth marketers, founders, startups growth hackers are important for what I learned in my role is to use technology to 10x my efforts, and using technologies like Apollo and our platforms, solutions, Clay and ChatGPT, and particularly impressed by ChatGPT-4's ability to do basically a lot of this. And to be honest with you, I can go one step further and say, craft me a message for this, personalize this. So I actually don't need to go anywhere further. Very cost effective in terms of one license, and you can do a lot. And it's sort of cannibalizing, you know what I mean? Cannibalizing these other products out there, right? Yeah, really impressive. Okay, well, guys, hope you found this really insightful and useful, and when you do your own marketing and growth hacks, have a play with with these solutions. Until the next video, this is Frankie signing out. Peace. No, peace is somebody else that does that. Okay, bye.